After a worldwide frenzy to find 5 golden tickets hidden inside Wonka branded chocolate bars, a very young and poor boy named Charlie Bucket and his grandfather win a trip to tour the most secretive chocolate factory in the world. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is the movie that taught me not to judge a book by its cover. When I was a young boy, I never wanted to watch this movie because it had the word chocolate in the title. And I wasn't a fan of chocolate because of an earlier childhood incident where I ate a bunch of unsweetened baker's chocolate. But luckily, when I finally gave in and watched Willy Wonka, I was young enough for it to leave a lasting nostalgic impression on me. From beginning to end, this movie is filled with some of the most playful and imaginative set pieces, characters, songs, situations, and candies that have ever come out of Hollywood. The setup to the plot isn't really anything special, but once our 5 golden ticket holders meet the whimsical Willy Wonka, things never slow down. But before all of these characters get together, we get to know Charlie Bucket and his family. Now Charlie lives with his mother and his 4 grandparents. His grandparents are George and Georgina, and Joe and Josephina. What are the chances? And all 4 of those grandparents share a single bed that they have not gotten out of for 20 years. And Charlie and his family are so poor they can't even afford cabbage soup for dinner. They have cabbage water, whatever that is. Without exception, every single scene throughout Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory features something that's memorable. And the movie's tone stays consistent throughout, even though scene to scene jumps between funny, imaginative, musical number, scary, and even cruel. And all of the songs in the movie are very fun. They have catchy and meaningful lyrics. And the movie is very quotable. Willy Wonka is full of wisdom and one-liners. He says some things that sound like the great Yogi Berra would have said. A couple of my favorite quotes: "A little nonsense now and then is relished by the wisest men. So much time and so little to do. Wait a minute, strike that. Reverse it. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do, do it. Want to change the world? There's nothing to it." But Willy Wonka isn't the only one with great one-liners. One of my favorites by another character is Mr. Beauregard, whose daughter Violet begins to turn purple, and he says, "Violet, you're turning violet, Violet." And then there's the teacher who just tries to confuse his students with lines such as, "I've decided to switch our Friday schedule to Monday, which means the test we normally take on Fridays over what we've learned during the week will now take place on Mondays before we've learned it. But since today is Tuesday, none of that matters. Pencils ready." Sure, the real-life Willy Wonka branded candy, including the famous everlasting gobstoppers from the movie, was a marketing stunt released alongside the movie more than 50 years ago. But that marketing campaign was so successful, you can still buy that candy today. And even though each of our 5 main children characters are one-dimensional stereotypes, as are their parents, they each provide a whole lot of laughs. There's the overweight kid who eats everything, including a microphone. There's the fast-talking, gum-chewing daughter of a car salesman, the spoiled brat. And then, of course, there's the gun-toting, TV-watching American. All of these personalities, as I said, are one-dimensional, but they play really well off of each other. Now, on the surface, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory seems like a pointless, whimsical journey that's made for kids. But it actually has a lot of heart and a great message of reaping the benefits of being kind and honest. This is one of the few movies that can be equally enjoyed by everyone, and like a fine wine, it gets better with age. Old-timey candy stores, sharing a bed with your child's spouse's parents, licking walls, flying with bubbles, turning violet, riding boats through chocolate rivers, playing tiny musical instruments.